Tara, new look, mid-shotty? I'm afraid so. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, once again, I gotta warn you that there's not really enough room. The room is not set up for this. I thought when I move into the new place, I'm gonna set up a nice big room with empty space in it so I can do like VR streaming, I can have good studio space, and instead this may be the smallest bedroom in the house. If I reach out, I will probably knock over the green screen. Now this redemption here, this show us your outfit, is because I think Inappropriate Wife decided that my fashion sense is questionable and my decisions need vetting, so there we go. One of my many, many, many very cheap shirts from Amazon. And the very same very, very, very cheap score from Amazon. It's a black floral pattern. Black with florals on it. Yes. This one, I think, is... This shirt is so cheap it doesn't even have a brand name. It's just a bunch of uppercase letters. Such purchases were vital in my path to get to where I am today. So, I like to honor them by not throwing them away just yet. Although I reconsidered the last second, I was this close to making my middle name Alexa. So sexy? Well, thank you. I'm sure it will be sexier one day when I have a better sense of what I'm doing. So, we do have an informative video. Yes, if you are unfamiliar with all of this business going on at the bottom center of the screen, why is it like that? What's that doing there? Your prayers for answers are about to be themselves answered. I cannot explain it better than this myself, so I have not even been trying. I did it once, it was perfect, and now I'm milking it for all I can. Yep, there you go. Informative video. I'm literally Tara. I realized the other day that this means that I have literally built my entire identity on Rise of the Triad. But you know what? It was a classic game. No reason not to do that. I have no regrets. You see I have a new look these days? Very true. Very true, yes. I'm different. Some would say better. There was a request to show us my outfit. We saw this a little earlier, but we'll see it again. I refuse to call it a top because Amazon calls it a shirt. That means I get to call it a shirt. What's the necklace? Here's the necklace. It's a molecule. Somehow I knew someone was going to ask me about this today. It's a different one than I've been wearing before. The one that I had been wearing previously is one my wife made for me. This one is one I bought from Amazon. This one's also much more cliche. So I'm ashamed to wear it, but I figure it's time for a change once in a while. Although, considering how tricky it is to put on, maybe it's not. I do like the shape of the molecule better, honestly. But it's so cliche. Girl, I need to go shop for underwear now? Way ahead of you, Inappropriate Wife. Well, wait, why do I need to do that now? What's new about now? The thing about a skirt is it has a liner, so, I mean, technically I don't. The liner is great for someone like me to have because I have not yet learned that I can't sit the way that I had been sitting. Not that I have this problem in public much, but, oh, I'm sure it'll come. It's that time. The conversation I'd have with a young teen girl. Ah, yes, the time in every teen girl's life when she has to start wearing underwear. Having to do that's totally foreign to me. I've been doing commando for years. Did I properly do it with a lady in the stall to measure everything? Oh, you're talking about that kind of underwear. Inappropriate Wife. Again, step ahead of you. Did I do it properly with a lady? Absolutely not. This is kind of a one-size-fits-all. Oh, one thing I didn't mention in either of my outfit twirls. My new nail polish I ordered a week and a half ago arrived. This flavor is called Mintage. I thought it would be green, but it's pretty blue-ish. I don't know, very light blue, but I think it's technically green. Something's off with this light. It makes my shirt look blue when it's green. Everything in here that's green looks blue. Or I forgot what colors are. Looks super blue to you? I know, right? That looks very blue. But mint is not blue, right? Mint would be a green color. At least it's slightly darker, slightly a bolder color, I think, than the other light blue one I have. I have an allowance of cliches that I allow myself to be. You know, I don't want to go all out. Hello, world, I'm a brand new trans girl. Here's my striped thigh-high socks, and my anime hair, and my cat ears. But I thought I would show some solidarity, and it got the pack of trans colors. They're all terrible. All three of these colors, the pink, white, and blue. If I was going to wear a pink, a white, or a blue, it would not be either of these colors. But they're stuck in a box somewhere, so I have no idea where they are, and I don't have to see them. Swift A. Silver says, am I single? My wife probably wouldn't want me to say yes. But she's not here, so I'm gonna say yes. Can I do Elmo?
You're from Meatwell, you go up, 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 up. Meatwell falsetto, and then you add vocal twang. Took me forever to know what this was. Vocal twang is the sound of a quack, quack, or a wah, wah. Elmo. Hi, I'm Elmo.
Why am I wearing a wig? This is my fraudulent hair. I'm wearing a wig because I am still growing out my hair. It's going to be a while. Even once it grows out, it's probably still not going to look quite as fabulous. Oh, Bwayne, have you not heard the good news? Change is taking place here at the Terradino channel. Now, we did watch that video earlier, but people love it. Maybe after this, maybe we'll have a look at it, and you'll get to know what's going on with all this business at the bottom of the screen. You want to ask something but you're afraid, Simu? Go ahead and ask. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Am I trans? Simu, where would you get an idea like that? There's been a video going around saying all sorts of things about me. I don't know if you've seen any of these scurrilous rumors. I'll show you the video and I'll let you decide. I don't know how much faith to put in this. I've heard that this information source, up to 60% of its content can be lies. It's probably best for you to just come to your own conclusion. So I'll show you the informative or perhaps misinformative video. Why don't you tell us what you think of it? Hi, I'm Tara. I'm a trans woman. Simu MG, I hope that answered your question. Let us know if you can piece together any meaning out of that, because it has me baffled. You kind of knew? I hope you kind of knew after this new me appeared, because if you knew before, I'm going to be very interested in how. So far, everyone who I've told this, not so much the people online, maybe it was somehow more apparent to people watching the stream, or maybe people just don't care, or maybe people knowing everyone's afraid to say, what a surprise, or maybe for some reason it's the people who know me best who are most surprised. But anyway, everyone that I've told in real life has been shocked. And I've been equally shocked by the responses that I've heard back from two of my friends. Not at liberty to discuss those, but we have more to talk about these days. You know I dressed up as Tara? Ah, true, I do still have that costume. I wore the hair, actually, a few days ago, last week or something. It's not nearly as quality as this hair. It's definitely more quantity, though. How do I feel about the change? It's the best thing that I've ever done, I think. Sometimes I regret not having done it earlier, but honestly, I don't think that that would have worked out very well. It's a different time. It's a much better time to be doing it for me, and a much better time to be doing it in general. It didn't surprise you. You took one look at that Terradino and you're like, oh, there's a lady in there just waiting to burst out like an alien. You know one should be hating at the end of the day, you're an adult and whatever made you happy. Well, thanks. To the extent that, like, trolls or anyone have picked up on it, like, I was a little concerned, you know. People on the internet can be hostile, even on the best days, to the best and most perfect person. This is something that sort of sticks out like a sore thumb. But to the extent that it gives them something to focus on, I think it's a positive. I am happy to have them focus on this, because this is something that has been at the top of my mind for months, if not years. And I am well prepared to respond to them on that. Plus, I have already, I think, self-deprecated enough about whatever awkwardness they may pick up on that they can't outdo me. It's been quite an experience, an adventure, and a learning opportunity. And although it's a lot of work, it's very motivating. Can you ask a personal question, Lexi Vexi? Sure, why not? Am I going to take stuff to change the way I look and my voice? Yes. The way that's phrased makes it sound a lot simpler than it is. So I have been taking hormones for 6 months now. There's only so much that it can do in terms of appearance, but it's more than I expected. Not right now, but what it's capable of is more than I expected. Who knows, in a year or two, it will probably be much more dramatic than it is now. I also have a consultation for facial surgery. We'll see how much of that I need by the time that rolls around. As for the voice, sadly, trans women have it tough on the voice because testosterone makes your voice deeper, thickens the vocal cords, enlarges the larynx or something. You have a deeper and more resonant voice, and it does not go the other way. It's great for trans men. If you are born female and you take testosterone, you get the guy voice for free, more or less. But if you are born male and you go female, estrogen does not change it back. You can change it very dramatically, and in fact, I have a channel point redemption here to help me practice. I took classes for 3 months. I feel like I have good control over my voice, but really I have good control over my voice in the male range, and it is so foreign trying to put together a female voice, which is frustrating, humbling, and eye-opening. Realizing that it's all the same sort of things that I would do to my voice. It's just taking them in a different direction and taking different ones in that direction at the same time, and that is so much harder. But, you know, it's possible. It's my Who's a Kitty voice. Who's a kitty? Oh, you're a kitty, huh? Hi, this is my best rendition of the Princess Tara voice. One day, perhaps, to be known as just the Tara voice. Everyone thinks that the main difference between a male and female voice is the pitch. The pitch, however, is not the most important thing for making a voice sound male or female. There are plenty of women who have low voices. Cher, for example. There are plenty of men who have high voices. MC Chris, for example. And no one is going to mistake them for being the opposite sex, because what actually makes more of a difference is the, what do we call it? We call it size and we call it weight. If you imagine the difference in sound between a tiny dog and a big dog, it's not just pitch. The tiny dog sounds tiny even if he could bark at a low pitch. That is the difference between male and female voices, that and the sort of softness. This is more of a soft voice right now. It's not especially high pitch because, frankly, I have a hard time with it. I still have complex sarcasm. Well, thank you. I have not lost my sense of humor. They say women can't be funny. Maintaining the voice, once I modify it, that's the other difficult thing. And long term, this is probably going to be the most difficult thing. Getting the voice dialed in the first place, that's a lot of work, but then one must habituate oneself to doing it and essentially make it so second nature that it becomes first nature. So still working on the first part of that. But as a pleasant side effect, I did learn last night to make a decent Elmo voice. In case they ever run out of voice actors for Elmo and they need another one, I may line up for that. Did I answer Lexi Vixie's question? Basically, there's a lot of practice in my future. I feel confident about being able to do it eventually. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to be satisfied with the quality of my voice, but I do know other people will probably be satisfied with it before then. There is vocal surgery, but I don't think I'll be doing that. It doesn't solve everything. It solves pitch, maybe. I don't think it solves resonance. There's a surprising amount of stuff that is learned. The more advanced vocal modification stuff for the trans folks is all about like learning pronunciation. How do I pronounce this word? How do I say this vowel and these consonants in a way that sounds more ladylike? Side note though, actually, so one thing that I've had a hard time doing is finding sort of vocal models. So if you guys have any suggestions for like, who are your favorite female streamers, female YouTubers, podcasters, anyone who does a lot of talking, anyone who's got a voice that you like and that there's a lot of recordings of that I could just put on the background or something and sort of absorb, would be fantastic. Lewis 2500 says, are you a girl? Great question, Lewis. I get that question a lot. And the answer is getting there. One day, God willing, I'll be able to say yes and not feel like a liar. My driver's license does say yes. Oh, so now that I live in Washington, Washington is one of the states, well, I guess probably most states are like this. I previously lived in California where it is illegal for insurance companies to charge different rates to men and women. So men and women pay the same for car insurance in California. So now that I live in Washington, which does not have that law, there's different premiums. So when I changed the gender on my driver's license, my insurance premiums changed. They went up because I'm in the age bracket where apparently women are worse drivers than men. So now I have to pay more, even though I drive exactly the same as I did before. But, you know, I figured that this is my license to start running into stuff. Why not? To answer your other question, am I trans or how I would say it? Yes. We just watched an informative video about that. I'll just flip the cards over and say the answer is yes. So are you technically a boy, you say? That's a complicated question, but I will say that I certainly used to be. When I was a child, they called me a boy.